So this video is for all of you who feel like you have very fine or thinning hair. A lot of my clients are dealing with that. My demographic, because I'm a Gen Xer, is other Gen Xers. Now, we as stylists are taught to care for hair, and, there's all kinds of products out there that come and go over the years, what's good, what's bad, whatever. And I'm happy to give you individual advice when you come in. But remember that we are not dermatologists. And hair growth problems need to start with your dermatologist. Your scalp is skin. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to breathe, all those kind of things. So I always suggest that if the problem is not absolutely obvious, like, maybe you've gone through, some illnesses, or you're dealing with thyroid issues or medication problems, things like that, and you feel like your hair is just falling out and there's no real thing that we can put our finger on, talking about it, please go see a dermatologist. They're going to be able to diagnose and maybe help you out before your stylist can. I want to talk about something that's a little controversial. First of all, we all know I do extensions, and I will do extensions on fine and thin hair. I have methods that I consider safe and happy, and I take each case by case. If you come and sit in my chair and you need or you want extensions, we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to recommend what I think will work or not work for you. And then we will have very close appointments together at first to see how your hair handles it. I am not going to put extensions in your hair and say, see you in a couple months. I'm just not going to do it. If you have fine, delicate hair or thinning hair, I want to keep an eye on that and make sure this is a safe option for you. So you may be seeing me every week or two at first to make sure these are working for you. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Something that I'm seeing a lot of now, and I was interested in. I started watching a lot of videos and learning about it, and I have been trained in non-surgical hair replacement. The type I've been trained in is for people that are literally bald, or they have alopecia where they have huge bald patches. That hair is never going to grow again, that kind of thing. So that's different than what I'm going to talk about. What I'm talking about is something that has been around for a while, but has really been big on social media. And that is semi-permanent hair toppers. These can be sewn on with a mesh integration. They can be sewn on with beads, similar to how weft extensions are done. And if you want to know more, you can look up all kinds of videos on how they're put on. But I have some concerns with them, because my goal as your stylist is to give you options that are healthiest. And so I don't perform this service. I have learned how, and I know how, but now that I know more about it, it's not something I want to offer. And I'm not here to tell you not to, because sometimes the way you look is way more important than long-term issues with hair growth, So I get that. But I just want to talk about my professional thoughts on these systems. Now let's talk about the benefits of these systems. They're made to go just on the top. So yeah, extensions and things are going to fill in around the backs and sides and that kind of thing, but you may have just like 3 or 4 hairs on top, and it just feels like it's, even if you do extensions, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't look right. And so these are pieces, and I'll put some pictures up. There's usually a silk topper, or like the inside of a wig, or a mesh topper or something, and they go on, and then they are attached around the outside. And it can be done in different ways, and we're not going to go into all of that right now. But here is why they're so popular. You don't have to wear a wig. It's on all the time. You can get wet. You can do your life. No one knows it's there. It's hidden well. I can see why these are so popular. But let's keep in mind, the scalp is skin. Okay, and I've written down a few things because I didn't want to forget. It needs airflow. It needs the oils to be able to disperse and move around on your scalp. It needs to be cleansed regularly, and it needs exfoliation. And if you have something blocking all that from happening 24/7 for 4 to 6 weeks at a time, how can that be good for your scalp? That's just what I'm saying. It's like if you put a wig on and never took it off, or a hat and never took it off. I just don't see how that's healthy. And the little bit of research I've done says it's not. By not being able to access your scalp and exfoliate it properly on a regular basis, you are possibly, and I say all this possibly because everybody's situation is different, but in general, you're possibly setting yourself up for, follicle issues, dandruff, odor, itching, inflammation, all of these things. And so if you decide this is the route you want to go, and I understand why people do, please make sure after that first 6 weeks, or maybe the second time around, each time you're going in, that your stylist is really inspecting your scalp for you, okay? Because these things can end up making you lose more hair, and you want to hang on to all you've got. Besides having problems with your scalp, having something that large attached to your scalp, I know there are different ways that we can do it, with the beaded sew or mesh integration. Mesh integration actually is probably the best as far as preventing traction alopecia or anything like that, because it's less pulling on your hair. But traction alopecia can be a thing, especially if your hair is already delicate and very fine. You can end up with some breakage that you didn't have before. Another thing I've seen with these semi-permanent systems, and it obviously depends on how they're installed, but that hair underneath there can get matted and get ooey gooey just from, dead skin cells and oil and that kind of thing building up under that system. Again, every situation is different, and these are just my thoughts on it, okay? So you may hear different from other people. This is just my personal thoughts as a stylist. And if you come to me asking for one of these systems, this is why I don't do them. Now, what I am happy to offer you is daily wear clip-on pieces that look exactly like the ones that you wear 24/7, but you take them off at night. You take them off when you go in the shower. You can't swim in them and things, no, but maybe wear a hair cap, if you're embarrassed, or, that's something that I do just to protect my hair. So a daily wear hair topper is a great option, and I have them in all sizes. Big, small. I have little tiny pieces just to cover little pieces, and I can show you how to wear them. They're safe. They're not going to cause any problems. There's very little tension on the hair. So that is a good alternative. And actually, these daily wear toppers are the exact same ones. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's so many different ones out there, but they're basically the exact same ones that they sew on. They just have clips on them instead of sewing them in semi-permanently. I also offer V-light extensions, and I actually have a couple of clients that I do now that have very thinning hair on top, and we're able to hide that and thicken that up a little bit with V-light extensions. Those come with their pluses and minuses as far as wear goes. They're safe for the hair, but they can be a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes with, brushing and styling and things like that. But we can talk about that if you come in and are looking for options. I also do the micro K-tips, which can be hidden pretty well, and a combination of those with a clip-on hair topper or even hair fibers, which I carry in the shop, can be a way to, hide thinning hair on top. There are lots of options. And I'm not here to slam stylists that do the integrated or long-term wear toppers. They're very popular, and I understand supply and demand. Many stylists that offer these probably genuinely believe they are safe, and in some cases, maybe they are. I just don't care to take that chance with my clients. And I believe all hair extensions have a certain amount of risk, because once the client walks out the door with something I've installed on them, I no longer have control. And if they're not taking good care of the extensions or whatever I've offered them to solve their problem, or their, like let's say I sell them a wig and they never take it off. I mean, I can't control that, but I will try to educate you the best I can, offer you solutions that can help you feel better about yourself going out in the world every day, and work as a teammate to give you the best solution for your unique situation. Now, having said all that, I told you that I am trained in non-surgical hair replacement, which kind of came before these sew-on and mesh integrated systems. It was basically a hair topper that was glued with medical grade glue right onto the head, and it can be worn for, about 6 weeks at a time. Here's the thing. That person has no hair. They're bald. We don't have to worry about the hair not growing. But I also stopped doing those because I still felt like that was skin and it still needed to breathe. I wasn't worried about the hair, not being able to grow there anymore because it wasn't going to. But I don't offer those anymore either because I just didn't feel like it was a healthy option. Now, as a client, you have the right to weigh the pluses and the cons and decide to go with one of these options, and go to a stylist who offers them. I know a couple of stylists in the harbor that do a wonderful job with it, and I will be happy to recommend you to them if that's something that you want. As long as you're going in with your eyes open, that if your hair's just thin and, maybe there's other options, maybe do that. If hair's not going to grow there and this is just, you're willing to take the risks because, your looks are important. I get that. And if I had super thin hair, I don't know what I would do about that either. But I just want to offer safer, healthier options going long term. And I think that these toppers can be safe if they're not worn like continuously, never taking a break. I don't know. Just the research I've shown or the research I've done has made me feel like I don't want to offer those. But I have other options for you. I'm great with thinning hair. I'm great with fine hair. I would love to see you in my chair. Book a consultation. Let's talk about it.